सिटी में है एम्सविल, है ना। एम्सविल एक ट्रेडिशनल साउथ इंडियन, साउथ अमेरिका, यूएस में साउथ में एक विलेज है, बहुत ही ट्रेडिशनल, वहाँ पे गवर्नर चलते हैं। ना बिली का ये है कि भाई उनकी कोई वक़्त नहीं है, उनको सब अपने उनके पिता के नाम से ही जानते हैं। और बिली एक बढ़िया लॉयर है, मतलब वॉशिंगटन डीसी में जाके लड़के आए। फिर उनको एक ऑफ़र लेटर आता है। ऑफ़र लेटर यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स की टॉप गवर्नमेंट से आता है। बिली उसको पढ़ते हैं, सोचते हैं अरे ये तो बहुत अच्छा। पर वो कहता है भैया एम्सफिल में क्या कहेंगे कि भैया मिस्टर जो है पेम्बरटन का लड़का बिली का अच्छा हुआ, इसलिए मिस्टर पेम्बरटन को बधाई दी जाती है। अब आगे की कहानी सुनिए, जज पेम्बरटन। These were the phrases printed and oral conjured up by Billy's prophetic fantasy. Grandson of his state and stepchild to Emsville, thus had fate fixed his kinship to the body politics. ठीक है ना। Billy lived with his father in the old mansion. मामा सुन रही हो? पुराने mansion रहता था. The two and an elderly lady, a distant relative, comprised the family. मतलब 3 लोग ही थे, father, वो Billy और उसके। Perhaps the old Jeff, the governor's ancient colored body servant should be included. Without doubt, he could have claimed the honor. There were other servants, but Thomas Jefferson Pemberton Sir was a member of Day family. अब वहाँ पे साउथ में सब चीज़ें इनफॉर्मल होती थी, है ना मम्मा? तो मतलब वो जो थे थॉमस जेफरसन पेम्बरटन, वो फैमिली का पार्ट थे. Jeff was the one Elmvillian who gave Billy the gold of approval unmixed with the alloy of paternalism. तो जेफ ही एक आदमी था जो कि बिली की वक़्त को मानता था. To him, Mars William was the greatest man in the Talbot County. तो जेफ को लगता था ये मार्स विलियम जो है बहुत बड़ी आदमी है विलियम. Beaten up though he was by the shining light that emanates from the ex-war governor, and loyal as he remained to the old regime, his faith and admiration were Billy's. जेफ को लगता था कि भैया ये तो बहुत बड़े आदमी है. एक ही आदमी था जेफ जो कि उसकी वक़्त को मानता था. As valet to a hero and a member of the family, he may have had superior opportunities for judging. Jeff was the first one to whom Billy revealed the news. When he reached home for supper, Jeff took his plug hat and smoothed it before hanging it upon the hall rack. Dar now, said the old man. I knowed it were coming. I knowed it wasn't going to happen. Urged, you says, Mars William? मतलब तुम एक जज बनोगे मार्स विलियम? मैं तो पता था ये होने वाला है, पता ही हो. जेफ जो था बिली को मानता था. Damn Yankees then make you a judge. Yankees ने तुम्हें जज बना दिया. It's high time, said they was doing something to make up for their rascality enduring the war. ठीक है ना. I Banse they holds a confab and says, let's make Mars William Pemberton a judge and that'll settle us. इन्होंने वॉर में जो हमारे साथ अत्याचार किए थे, अब उसको सुलझाने के लिए कहा कि भैया इस विलियम पेम्बरटन को जज बनाओ तो हमारा सेटलमेंट हो जाएगा. Does you have to go down to them Philippines, Mars William, or can you judge them from here? क्या तुम यहाँ से जज कर सकते हो कि तुम्हें जाना पड़ेगा? ये बताओ. I'd have to live there most of the time, of course, said Billy. मुझे वहीं पे रहना पड़ेगा. I wonder what the governor going to say about that, speculated Jeff. Billy wondered. वो गवर्नर साहब क्या बोलेंगे भाई अब तुम जा रहे हो? Billy. After supper, when the two sat in the library according to their habit, the governor smoking his clay pipe and Billy his cigar, the son dutifully confessed to having tendered the appointment. दोनों बाप बेटा लाइब्रेरी में बैठ के किताब पढ़ रहे थे. तो सन ने अपने फादर को बताई मेरे को अपॉइंटमेंट हुआ है, मेरा सिलेक्शन हुआ. For a long time the governor sat smoking without making any comment. Billy reclined in his favorite rocker, waiting perhaps, still flushed with satisfaction over the tender that had come to him. अब उसके जो फादर थे उन्होंने यहाँ करके जो था ना बहुत लंबे टाइम तक अपनी कुर्सी जो थी वो सहलाते रहे. और बिली जो था खुश था, भाई मेरे को तो अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर मिला है. ठीक है ना. For a long time governor sat smoking without making any comment. Billy reclined in his favorite rocker, waiting perhaps still flushed with satisfaction over the tender that had come to him unsolicited in his dingy little office, above the heads of the intriguing, time serving, clamorous multitude. इतने सारे लोगों के उसके सामने जो थे, जो कि कुछ मानते मानते नहीं थे, पुराने टाइम के थे, मिल गया मुझे अपॉइंटमेंट लेने वाला. At last the governor spoke, and though his words were seemingly irrelevant, they were to the point. His voice had a note of martyrdom running through its senile quiver. गवर्नर साहब ने फिर बोला, और उसमें ऐसी थी मम्मा, मार्टरडम का मतलब ये हुआ जैसे कि शहीदी थी उनकी उसमें. तो My rheumatism has been growing steadily worse these past months, William. मेरी rheumatism ज़्यादा बढ़ गई है. I'm sorry, father, said Billy gently. Billy ने कहा, I'm sorry. And I'm really nearly 78 and I'm getting an old man. I can recall the names but two or three who were in public life during my administration. मेरे को दो तीन लोगों का बस नाम याद है जो कि पब्लिक लाइफ था एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. What did you say is the nature of this position that is offered to you, William? ये पोजीशन तुम्हें क्या ऑफर की गई है विलियम, जरा बताओ. A federal judgeship, father. I believe it is considered to be a somewhat flattering tender. Federal judgeship मतलब बहुत बड़ी पोस्ट है और बहुत मान सम्मान का है. It is outside of politics and wire pulling. Politics और wire pulling के बात नहीं है, बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है कि फेडरल जजशिप ऑफर की है. No doubt, no doubt. Few of the Pembertons have engaged in professional life for nearly a century. भाई किसी भी पेम्बरटन ने आज तक कोई प्रोफेशनल लाइफ नहीं लिया. या तो हम लोग लड़ाई पे गए या बिजनेस किया, खुद की प्रैक्टिस की. प्रोफेशनल लाइफ तो किसी ने किया. None of them have ever held federal positions. किसी ने भी फेडरल पोजीशन तो रखी नहीं है. They have been landholders, slave owners and planters on large scale. हमेशा landholders, slave holders या planters थे. किसी की नौकरी कभी नहीं की. फेडरल गवर्नमेंट की तो कभी नहीं की. One of two of the Derwents, your mother's family, were in the law. Derwents के एक दो जो थे वो लॉ में थे. Have you decided to accept this appointment, William? Have you decided to accept this appointment, William? I'm thinking it over, said Billy, slowly regarding the ash of his cigar. You have been a good son to me, continued the governor, stirring his pipe with the hilt of a penholder. तुम एक अच्छे लड़के रहे हो. पाइप को मिलाया. पाइप को मिलाया. I've been your son all my life, said Billy darkly. I'm often gratified, piped the governor, betraying the touch of complacency by being congratulated upon having a son with such sound and sterling qualities. मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगता है जब लोग मेरी तारीफ करते हैं कि तुम्हारा लड़का बहुत अच्छा है. Especially in this our native town, is your name linked with mine in the talk of your of our citizens. मुझे इस टाउन में जहाँ पे कि लोग तुम्हारे नाम को मेरे नाम से जोड़ते हैं, मुझे बड़ा गर्व होता है. विली कभी निकल नहीं पाएगा. I never knew anyone to forget the vinculum, murmured Billy unintelligibly. Whatever prestige, pursued the parent, I may be possessed of by virtue of my name and services to the state, has been used to draw upon freely. पर जो भी मेरा नाम शोहरत स्टेट के लिए हुआ है, अब तुम उससे फ़ायदा ले सकते हो. I have not hesitated to exert it on your behalf whenever opportunity offered. और जब भी opportunity थी तो मैंने तुम्हारे लिए opportunity किया है. And you have deserved it, William. You have been the best of sons, and now this appointment comes to take you away from me. I have but a few years left to live. ये अपॉइंटमेंट आया है तुम्हें मुझसे अलग ले जाने के लिए. मेरे पास कुछ ही समय अब बचा. I'm almost dependent upon others now, even in walking and dressing. What would I do without you, my son? मैं तुम्हारे बिना क्या करूँगा? The governor's pipe dropped to the floor. A tear trickled from his eye. His voice had risen and crumbled to the weakling falsetto and ceased. He was an old man about to be bereft of a son that cherished him. अब उनका पाइप गिरा, उनकी आंखों में से आंसू, और उनका जो लड़का था वो अब जाने वाला था. Billy rose and laid his hand upon the governor's shoulder. बिली उठा और उसने अपना जो हाथ था गवर्नर के शोल्डर पे डाला। हम्म हाँ, उसने फिर अपने फादर के उस पर डाला। डोंट वरी फादर, ही सेड cheerfully, I'm not going to accept. Emswell is good enough for me. I'll write tonight and decline it. तो उसने कहा कि देखिए बाबा, मैं नहीं जाऊंगा। तो वो बोले कि पापा, मैं जो हूँ आज रात को इसको डिक्लाइन कर दूंगा, ज़्यादा सोचिए मत। At the next interchange of divorce between Governor and General Diffenbaugh on League Avenue, His Excellency, with a comfortable air of self-satisfaction, spoke of the appointment that had been tendered to Billy. उसके फादर ने अगले दिन जाके डींग मारी कि मेरे लड़के को अपॉइंटमेंट मिला। The general whistled. That's a plum for Billy, he shouted. Who would have thought that Billy, that confounded, it's been in him all the time. और जनरल बोला, अरे कमाल है, वो बिली जो छोकरा इतना बड़ा स्टड निकला। मामा के साथ रहो तो तुम छोटे माने जाओगे। It's a boost for Elsewhere. समझे, अगर मालूम थोड़ा वो फर्क हो जाता है, माँ बाप की छाया में आ जाता है। चलो। It's a boost for Hemswell. It'll send real estate up. It's an honor to a state. अरे इससे तो दाम बढ़ जाएंगे, हमारा ऑनर है स्टेट का। It's a compliment to the South. South को एक compliment है। We've all been blind about Billy. Billy को तो हमने देखा ही नहीं। When does he leave? We must have a reception. Great Gatlings. That's a job. 8,000 a year. 8,000 की job है। खासी job है, 8,000 a year. There's been a carload of lead pencils thrown to Stubbs figuring on those appointments. Think of it. A little wood sawing, mealy mouthed Billy. हमारा छोटा सा wood sawing, mealy mouthed Billy इतनी बड़ी पोजीशन पे। Angel unawares doesn't begin to express it. Emvale is discreet forever until she lines up in a hurry for ratification and apology. सबको आके apologies कितना बड़ा stud है और उसको मिला नहीं है। The venerable Moloch smiled fetishly. He carried the fire with which to consume all these tributes to Billy, the smoke of which would extend to as an incense to himself. उसने कहा बिली को जाके बताएंगे और तो मेरी तो हो गई। William, said the governor with modest pride, has declined the appointment. He refuses to leave me in my old age. He's a good son. वो अच्छा लड़का है, मुझे छोड़ के नहीं जा रहा। The general swung around and laid a large forefinger on the bosom of his friend. Much of the general's success has been due to his dexterity in establishing swift lines of communication between cause and effect. Governor, he said with a keen look in his big ox-like eyes, you have been complaining to Billy about your rheumatism. आपने अब बिली को बताया rheumatism के बारे में? My dear general, replied the governor stiffly, my son is 42. He's quite capable of deciding such questions for himself. And I, as his parent, feel it as my duty to state that your remark about rheumatism is a mighty poor shot from a very small bore, sir. तो उस तो जनरल ने गवर्नर से कहा कि आपने क्या अपने रोमाटिज्म को बताया बेटे को? रोमाटिज्म के बारे में बताया? तो गवर्नर साहब बोले, अरे नहीं, मेरा जो लड़का बिली है वो 42 का है, अब अपना हिसाब खुद देख सकता है, मैं अपने रोमाटिज्म के बारे में क्यों बताऊंगा? Aimed at a purely personal and private reflection. If you will allow me, retorted German, you have afflicted the public with it for some time, and it was no small bore for that. This was the first step between two old comrades might have grown into something more serious, but for the fortunate interruption caused by the ostentatious approach of Colonel Titus. अब जनरल को खराब लगा कि वो कैंसिल करा दिया उसका. And another one of the court retinue from the right county to whom general confided the caudal statesman and went his way. After Billy had so effectually entombed his ambitions and taken the wheel, so to speak, in a sonnery, he was surprised to discover how much lighter of heart and happier he felt. मतलब जब उसने मना कर दिया तो happier था. He realized what a long, restless struggle he had maintained and how much he had lost by failing to cull the simple but wholesome pleasures by the way. His heart warmed now to Emswell and the friends who had refused to set him upon a pedestal. वेल तो बिली ने कहा यार ये तो छोटी छोटी चीजें थे, अब बहुत लाइफ हो गया था तो अब लोगों से खुल मिलने लगा. It was better he began to think to be Billy and his father's son and to be hailed familiarly by cheery neighbors and grown-up playmates than to be your honor. उसने कहा कि भाई दिस इज बेटर. चलो हम बाद में पढ़ेंगे.